you to be a bloody giver. Now this thing is affecting me, but how do you survive? You understand? Because even sometimes their mom will tell them, look, you can be like your father, but please don't give to the point where you now begin to feel hungry. Now that was happening to the boy in NYC.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he now called me and said, how do you go about this thing? So you see, they must see things they want to emulate. It's not just that fear. Like I always say, let it be referenced. Even my wife and I, we have that issue sometimes. And I'll say, look, the idea that children fear you is not good enough.
They must reference you.
Is that they have to reference you. They have to say, I'm not going to do this because my dad will not be happy. My mom will not be happy. It's when they have seen you as an example. My mom used to tell me every time I was going to the boarding house, remember the son of who you are.
Yeah.
So even when we went to school and we were going south, you understand, we were bad in school. We were good at home because it was basically fear most of the time.
Then we usually have students like that. When they are going home, they have to arrange.
For instance,
even the ladies, you see them putting on good
yes.
clothes.
For instance, when I was in secondary school, I was naughty. I was naughty to the point I was suspended, removed as prefect, and I came home and I didn't say it because of the fear. So I just managed, the midterm was added to the suspension, so it was long. So I stayed, and when I was to resume midterm, my dad knew I was going to resume school. So he asked me to go to school. So I looked around for some of my friends, I mean, those who were suspended together, they live in Lagos, but they were hanging in Ilorin, they don't know. So we got ourselves, we went to Lagos. My mom was living in Lagos. So I went and I stayed 1 whole week with my mom, lying that we had water problem in the school. So that was minus 1 week, you understand? Then we now had 1 week, I have a friend, my closest friend, we had 1 week extra. How do we leave this 1 week to run out this suspension without saying
like
it at
1
home?
year.
That 1 week is a long time. Did you know what? We're 16. 16 years old.
Okay.
No, we're 12, they suspended.
Okay.
Because we went to a party far outside of the school. So about 4 or 5 of us were prefects. They stripped us of our prefectship and then they sent us home. Now, what we will do is we will get to Ido Terminus, enter Lagos to Jos. It was 4 p.m. that train used to leave. So we'll get to Ilorin the following morning. So we'll stay in Ilorin, we'll play around Ilorin, we'll go, and then we enter another one, Lagos. We enter from Kano to Lagos. So we're spending in the train
So as for you
1
to
week, exhaust the 1 week. So when we finished the 1 week, the next case was you have to come with your parents when you are resuming. So it was time to hire parents. But you know,
Wait, you have to go and rent.
people have to rent because a lot of us came from home where there was discipline. You know, at that point in time, I now asked myself, I used to be a good boy at home. But look at me. How do I now go and tell them at home that I've been suspended all along? This is what I've been doing. So I had to go after my uncle. And I looked quite well like him because he looks like my dad. So I went after him. And then I got there and I told him that, uncle, hey, some people went to party. I couldn't say I went. And I left school and went 17 kilometers away. A 16-year-old, you know, I couldn't say that. So I just told him, was like, you are not a child like that. I was happy within me. So the man dressed up and took me to school. Fortunately, I was the first to resume. We got there, it was commendation. That saved me. Because when we got there, the principal said, did you know he got into this school from 4? And we broke rule to make him a prefect. He's such a great guy. I was really happy that, thank God, my father and my mom will never hear I'm a bad boy. You know, but the truth there was that it was like what the Winers family said. They said, our parents never chased us to church. They took us to church. So they go by the hand together. Understand this. It's not sufficient to tell, pray, pray, pray. They will pray in your presence. Let them understand why they are praying. Let them understand why a better life, a moral life, a righteous life is good for them. Before you know it will come to you like surprise when you see the things they are doing. So that father figure had to do with being an example. There are things I want to do that I will not do. My children once asked me a question. 2 of them asked me, they said, this thing you are not fighting, if it was not happening to us, because it was one of my child that lost a scholarship, we were actually robbed by some people from that scholarship thing. And I said, let it go. They now asked me that. They sat me down. They said, if this thing happened to someone else, Daddy, you are going to fight. I said, yes. So you are not fighting because it's us. I said, yes. Because you don't want to look selfish. I said, yes. I said, okay. We understand you now. So go and look for the money to pay. Since you're not going to fight. You understand? So I see that they observe. Children observe.
Yeah.
Look at the dance. Some of these serious dance. Did you see 4-year, 5-year-old? How do they get to do it? They see. You know, they see. So we need the father figure in the house, whether the person is uncle, whether it's whatever, it's about what we do. Let's leave the example than the shout, than the cane. It works better.
All right, thank you so very much, Pastor Sam Segun Progress. You know, now one of the things where they miss this one. So now we've talked about how this has effect on the family itself. Are we saying that single mothers cannot train their children to be better in life? Because there was this American lawyer, I've forgotten his name, he made a statement. He said most of the cases he has worked on, he observed that 70 to 80% of those that he has worked with are from single mothers. So are we not saying that when the father is not there, nothing can come out of that Israel?
Well, I think Pastor P mentioned something that we really need to hold on to. Exemplary life as a parent. We need to understand that there are some things naturally children will copy from us. I have a friend that told me he learned how to drink from home because his dad is an heavy drinker. So, and from the remnant of what his dad stores in the fridge,
You take it.
do you get? Do you get? Now, so there are things children will pick from us. Now, I've seen examples of women that are single mothers and they've taken care of children and the children are good, are successful. But it depends on the kind of life that mother lives. You can be a woman and be the father figure in the house.
Yeah.
You can, if you happen to go through someone like my mom, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You must turn out right. Because what she does, even her husband, what they do, you can't. So they will ask you the question of, where are you picking this from? Talofe Vijo. Where are you? Who is the example of this thing you want to do? Now, so, but if you have a single mother, you know, we have different reasons why women become single mothers. Now, so if it is about, say, okay, she had issues with her husband, you know, due to domestic violence, she decided to stay alone. Such a woman might decide on her own that, okay, I want to face my child squarely, and you would see in the lifestyle she lives. But if you have a single mother that, you know, just live the life anyhow, what do you expect from the boy or the girl? They will tell you, well, if my mom does, and one thing about children is once they see the parents do something, they believe it is good. They believe it is good. That is why you must really be careful, you know, when they are at the formative stage. The things they see you do, like Pastor P said, most times you don't have to push children to say, yeah, you must go and pray. You must go and do this. Okay, you want to tell your child, this hour is for reading. But at that hour, you as the dad, you are there pressing your phone. No, they will pick that thing. They will pick your action rather than your word. But if they say at 9 p.m., oh, dad has dropped his phone, that even if your office work takes that, you work at Afghan. Show that example. If you have the reasons to be on the phone, or on the system, as at this time, okay, let them know the reason. Because they will pick your actions more than the words you say. So, issue of if a woman is a single mother, will it affect the children? If the woman herself is irresponsible, if she is the kind of person that lives the life nonchalantly, it will definitely affect the children, negatively. And I must chip this in. Pastor P also mentioned it, that, ours is a society of, that, the foundation of our society is a communal society. That I remember while I was growing up, I know people my mom reports me to. My mom doesn't know how to keep secret of any child. She knows you are doing this nonsense. She has people. My mom will report me to the pastor in church. See this boy that will come to church and play piano and do anything. He's not serious with his education, no? And the funniest thing, the guy that trained me musical instrument, Dr. Bomi Adeloye, is now in the UK. They use him as an example for me. They say, you don't have any reason to fail. Because the person that trained you is a medical doctor. Is a scholar. So he did not write JAMB twice. So what excuse do you have? Do you get? So it all depends on, I think at times we just need to have a rethink. There are a lot of things we can't throw back in our culture. Throw away in our culture. Yeah. We need to go back. Anybody, it is now that they will tell you if anybody beats your child outside, the parents will go out there and fight.
Yeah, when the class teacher flogged the child,
the parents will take.
The parents will go back to the school and want to fight. I remember growing up, they flog talking about.
No, because
my dad would beat you.
The secondary,
they believe that your teacher will not just flog you
for no reason. The secondary school I attended here in Oshogo, Laro Grammar School. My dad will not take you to school the day you go early. But the day you decided nonchalantly you want to stay late, let me drop you in school. He will drop you at the entrance. He has a teacher then that he will drop you with, see, this boy, he decided to be silly today. So tomorrow, nobody will wake you before you wake early. And then in secondary school, I could remember very well, we have teachers that while you see them coming, you don't try nonsense. Do you get? Now, so from outside, people can even help you train your children. Yes. And your parents won't say, no, about man, no mommy. They know you've done something wrong. But today, even the child that you want to beat, you look at your Egbon, I might try. and you Egbon, that don't want to, you will think twice.
Probably this generation is not like ours. Growing up, they are exposed to a lot. And many of them, many parents tend to forget that your own childhood is different from these children.
Yeah.
We look for a way to balance all. Yeah. If not, we'll end up not bringing them in speed of what is happening now. Yeah. Now, we'll be talking about the effect of father figure in the house and how they just said that even a single mother can still do that which will make the children grow up well. But some things have affected some persons. Some things have affected some persons that will not make their presence or probably the father figure in them. Let me use that language. Not seen in the family. Do we think their effect something that must have affected some men that will put them away from their family totally?
Yes, you see, you mentioned the issue of someone dies. That's one. Then, for a while now, and I would say a while, running to like 2 decades now, economy has been a bit a major issue. Now, you see, some fathers have lost what is called the authority of the man.
Okay, let me pause you here. Let's go on this short break. And some fathers, they've lost the authority of being a man. We'll be back. It is still Men on Call. Wow, it's been a great time with these men here today on Men on Court, Western Spring Television, channel 190. The topic on ground today is the effect of father figure in the family. Pastor P was saying something before we went on that break. He was talking about how some men have lost the authority of being a man or a father in the family.
You see, when a man first, when the economic power is no longer there, when the economic power is no longer there and the woman is not covering you alone enough, then the man could lose that father figure in the house. In other words, it's like the woman is making him to feel, what audacity do you have? You are not paying the school fees, so why are you so bothered about the child's performance? You're not paying for, you're not picking the bills. Please, 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 because if you beat this child now and he becomes sick, who is going to pay?
You're going to pay.
You know, so that has killed some.
You will wound the ego of that man.
Yes. So once a man's ego is wounded, you may just discover the man is not there. You know, that's one. There's the other side that the man even has the money. But the kaya matter and the woman power has made the man the woman.
Kaya matter issues coming up.
The man has become the woman. You understand? The man has become the woman. And at that point, all you just do majorly is that you just allow things to flow. That sometimes people call such men, they call them the missus. And children have also come to understand that the missus, the man is supposed to be the man, is the wife. So there is nothing like the woman saying, I will report to your father. Because the man doesn't really exist. It's whatever the woman says that sticks. Now, a woman like that will even bring another man into the matrimonial home. And the children sees it. So they see their father as a weakling, though they don't understand what happened. So we have a lot of those things coming in. But like we are emphasizing, you see, the woman, the man, like my mom, my father was walking around Nigeria. So basically, for a long time, they didn't even stay together. You know, didn't stay together at all. So my mom was in Lagos. My dad was in Ilorin at the time. In fact, he had to make Ilorin his base at the time. So wherever he goes on transfer, he knows that base is Ilorin. After a while, he made Oshogo his base. So with me, but my mom was trading in Lagos. I want to say to a large extent, my mom raised all of us. And to God's glory today, there are stuff you cannot do, even at our age.
Because of what she has instilled.
What she has instilled. Some years ago in this town, I was cooking in the kitchen. And from the sitting room of the house I was living then, if the curtain is not down, you know, you can see through to the kitchen. So as I was cooking, I'm not a fan of meat. So I was frying it. The best I would do about meat is eat while I was frying and cooking. And I know my mom will never tolerate that. So I've been pacing to and fro. So after a while, I took style to drop the drapes so that she's not going to see me. I mean, that time I've been married for like 7 years or so. So I dropped the drapes and I was just doing the stuff I was doing. I would put it in and I was still doing it. That was how my mom came in and just hit me by the back and just say, Balile. I had to return to her and I said, you this woman, I dodge.
Leave me now.
I'm a grown up. You understand? I'm a grown up man. You know, that is what we are saying. That thing stays in us. It stays with us. I have a kid brother who was having issues and we got a report that I was going to take another wife. The guy eventually know that as long as my mother is alive, another wife is not possible. Yeah. Not because you are born again or you want to be righteous. You just know it's impossible as long as the woman is alive. Now that's a woman. That's not the father figure. But like he said, there are women who are playing those roles together. It's combined honor. You just know that your mother is there. She's in school. She's everywhere. She's the one that has to do with the church, the community. The woman is there.
But that doesn't stop your father still being who he is.
No, because in the long run, when we were growing up, my mom will tell you that I'm going to tell your dad. That was also helpful for us. But I can tell you, I can show you marks on my body, the one my mom inflicted, but my father beat me only once. But like we say, also, which is still the emphasis, my mom was just like a perfect example. My dad was a great man, a good guy, but he was a polygamist. So there was an aspect of his life you don't want to emulate.
Because of experiences, what you went through.
Obviously, you understand, where you have seen that situation where you want to ask for school fees, the reigning wife, that's how I call them. The reigning wife is the one, yes, the one that is
the freshest.
Yes. My father will now tell you that, I don't really have money now. Maybe if I ask a Yalagbaja, you know, and in the Yoruba culture, because you knew when they brought that person in, you are Oko. You know, the person doesn't even call you name. He gives you respect and an alias. So my dad, because he wants you to accept that woman, he will now tell you that maybe I'm going to beg her to borrow me some money. You know, now they are begging for your school fees. You're supposed to be humble, not to see the woman like a stranger or competing with your mom. So that's how the man will humble you. You know, and I grew to see that happen. That my dad would just use time to do some of those things. Those were things I didn't want to see happen in my life. I didn't want to see that happen. I knew when there was no all these people. I knew how my father used to come. When can coke was very scarce, my dad used to bring it to my boarding house. I knew he used to visit me in boarding house. But when these women came here and there, now we are becoming many. And the budget is being spread across. The thing cannot be the same again. So there were some of those things, you know. But my mom was just there. I just know that this woman, we didn't really like her because she cares a lot. We didn't really like her. But you know, today we could, I don't want to hear, I hate when my mom calls to say there is something. My mom will never call you to say there's a need. But anything that makes my mom calls and say, that, are you going to be able to, that's even how she put it. Can you get me, before she finished it, man, I have disappeared. This cash issue caused trouble. My mom just called me and said, how are you? She didn't even know I am in town. She said, how are you? That is there someone you can call to help me get cash? That I have money, I can't take it from the bank, I can't. And the people I want to buy from on the streets, they take transfer. I just said, Mutibomo and town. She was like, you are in Oshogo? I said, yes. If you see the rate, I rushed out of my house. And I went into a supermarket, including Gary, because there's no cash. So I bought everything I can buy in that place. I got into her house. She was like, what did I say happened? And I went and bought cash. So I gave her cash. My mom was looking at cash like something serious, you understand? So I gave her little cash. And everybody said, why did you do all of this? I said, hey, why will you need something you cannot, and you have money? It's not even that she didn't have money, but the cash issue. Now that's how we all take my mom.
It's because she stood.
Yeah, she stood. You guys. The discipline, everything.
But do we see this generation doing what your mom did? The generation of women we have now. How many want to be independent and they don't have that?
Let me tell you the fear about this generation. I was with a friend yesterday. He's actually my health provider. He said, Egbon, he said, I'm scared. I said, what is it? He said, if I've not been married, I won't marry. He said, because I can't see wife on the streets.
The wife model has finished.
But did you know that those girls will also say, we can't see
husbands? Yeah.
Now, because there's massive drop in value system. And what is called being responsible is what is missing on both sides. Because people have come to defy mediocrity and vain things. So when you see a lady now, what that lady is thinking is how my child is going to be on designer. and dress the best and be in the most expensive school. That's what the lady is thinking. The man is also thinking of how to flex and flaunt good car. I ride the best car.
So, can we say the modern life now is really the cause of all we have now?
Yeah, because we must go back.
There might be drop in our own cultural values and
We must go back. It's like everyone identifying himself, saying, I want to be different. People must go back to pick those things. Scripture says, remove not the ancient landmarks. We must go back to pick those old things that made us us. We're not saying, if I call my boys, the elder ones now, you will see the way we flew. I didn't flow with my dad that way. You understand? One will tell me, the lawyer will tell me, that's my guy. He's talking about me. You understand? But we still have a way through which we instill discipline, we correct things. Now, I didn't have the opportunity of calling my father my guy.
Who born you?
I can't call my father my
Show
guy.
your opinion, my guy. You go back and say, since when that one start? Come, bring your head here.
I cannot call him my G. You understand?
Who born you?
So when the guy sends me a message and I'm to do something for him, and I've done it, he will now call me, Pastor P, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You know, when he say, I appreciate you, man, I will say, you're not serious. You understand? We can blend, and I think that's what possibly the younger generation below mine should do. A situation wherein you still want to be in vogue, at the same time not losing focus of raising great children. Not losing focus of raising great children.
Okay, time is not on our side at all. And
That's
it
what
has
it be.
been very interesting, seriously. This issue of father figure, some guys, should I say, the guys of this generation, maybe, just as you mentioned now, if you ask the lady, they'll say, there are no men to marry. You ask the guy, there are no women, no wife material.
But are you yourself the material? Are you yourself,
Are you yourself husband material? So why are we having this? Because we've seen that in recent time, why we have this single mother in high percentage, because maybe some guys, or majority of the guys we have now, don't see themselves as husband. We've heard guys say, I'm not a husband material. I cannot have a woman under my roof. Let me just have somebody that will give birth to me. What do you think must have contributed to all this?
I think it has earlier been mentioned. We have a drastic or a serious fall in our value system. I mentioned it earlier that we want to borrow virtually everything from the Western world. And I like the fact that, Pastor P mentioned it. The people that brought Christianity religion to us are the ones who want to copy about not beating a child. But the Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child. If you leave a child that is ready to get spoiled and you say, no, don't worry, it will change. It's the stage. It will change.
Now small pikin.
Now small pikin. By the time it gets spoiled finally, you will know you have a serious situation in your hands. So we need to check back our value system. I do tell people, we just fail to understand it, that, in the Yoruba culture, as accounted by Reverend Samuel Johnson in his book, The History of the Yorubas, that I see a woman that I want to marry doesn't mean I will go straight to her. There must be someone like an elder in my house, a woman.
Like there's a process.
There is a process. That's the same thing in the Islamic way of getting married. You don't just approach a lady like that. There are processes. But now you see yourself today because he can afford to buy you iPhone. The next thing tomorrow you open leg.
Yeah.
And it is not, I do tell people, see, it is better you have a broken relationship than you have a broken marriage. If you guys study yourself and you see you are not compatible, it is not every guy you date that you can marry. At all. That's the reality. Because you are coming from different background. And the reality is, we don't really know ourselves. See, too much. The way we greet ourselves from office, oh, thank you, see you tomorrow. We all think we are the best of the people. But let's sleep together in the same house for 1 week. You will see the true Deji. I will see the true Peter. That's man to man. Now, so a guy to a lady, if you guys study yourself very well, you see there are things you cannot work out together. Please, let him or her go. So that you will not get... Now, okay, so because a guy buys you everything you need, because he does everything you need for you, but at every provocation, he beats you up.
You collect.
I was hearing the story of a lady. They said the man buys virtually everything, but the man doesn't allow her make friends.
And some people want to cry in the Ferrari instead of
it's not see as fast as Ferrari is, what the crying in the Ferrari will just do for the person is drive her fast to her grave.
Simple.
It's as simple as that.
That's why I would say when you want a Hollywood marriage, you will have a Hollywood style. You know, you can marry 30 times in your lifetime in the Hollywood. Just keep marrying and keep marrying because you didn't do it.
Okay, we need to go now. Thank you so very much. But before we go, just in 1 minute, let us talk to the men. The men. The father figure is for the men, not for the women. So let us have 1 or 2 words for our men out there.
Okay, well, what I'm going to say is for men, we have great responsibility. As a man, you need to be there for your children. In fact, for your daughters, I don't have one, but I know that the man has more responsibility even to the daughters.
I have one.
Because you need to let that girl know the antics and the wiles of men. So when you talk to your daughter, she begins to know it, and then she can be open to you the moment anything is happening. So that is it.
Thank you so very much, Pastor P. Deji.
Well, yes, I think I will also encourage men. We have a lot to do. And as men, it's not about our physical presence alone. It's about, being there for the children, also showing, what we want them to be in our own attitude. If you are a liar as a father, you cannot train a truthful child.
I remember my father, he would say, "Picking where they lie go thief."
Father where they lie.
If you go offend my father with anything, no lie. If you lie, if you do anything. Thank you so very much. It's been a great time today on Men on Court. Next week will be another time. My name is MC Tomach, the Lagedo one. See you next week.
Western Spring Television. Ours it is. This iconic African presents the narrative of a man destined to exert an imperishable global influence in Western education, His was a story of a freeborn, captured and sold into slavery. He was born in Oshogun, a native Yoruba village near Iseyin in Okiogun axis of southwest Nigeria. Samuel Ajayi Crowther was the foundation student of Fora Bay College, Sierra Leone, the foremost university where the pioneer set of native Africans were educated. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's greatest contribution to humanity was his translation of the Holy Bible into the Yoruba language. The man who authored the Yoruba dictionary was also credited with the translation of English classic hymns into Yoruba and the Ekwere languages. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's private residence in Badagry, incidentally the first story building in Nigeria, is an archival museum dedicated to the memory of Africa's first bishop. Western Spring Television identifies Samuel Ajayi Crowther as a watershed character in history. The 1914 Amalgamation Treaty is synonymous to the birth of Nigeria. Frederick Lugard, a British Army captain and an outlaw who struck gold in Africa, became the instrument used by destiny to make it happen. The amalgamation of Nigeria was designed for economic reasons by the colonial administration to offset Northern Protectorate budget deficit by Southern Protectorate surplus returns. The amalgamation had ad initio created imbalance in the economic political structure of Nigeria and was responsible for the persistent hiccups and the efforts to forge a united country till today. Nigeria's amalgamation was labeled as the mistake of 1914 by native northern conservatives who neither wanted it nor contributed anything significant to its sustenance. Western Spring Television identifies with Amalgamation Treaty of 1914 as a watershed event in history. Born Jeremiah Oyeni Obafemi on March 6, 1905, Obafemi Awolowo was a prime architect of Nigeria's independence and most consummate advocate of free education and social welfare in Africa's most populous nation. Erudite politician, thinker and philosopher, Awo was fondly addressed by associates and political colleagues, brought his unique attributes to bear on governance in the defunct Western region. He administered as leader of government business and the premier between 1955 and 1958. Obafemi Awolowo's premiership witnessed pioneering in multi-sectoral policy initiatives and execution. The Western region under his administration paraded several enviable records. First television station in Africa, first real estate in Nigeria, first high-rise building in Nigeria, first modern sports stadium in Nigeria, first agricultural settlement in Nigeria, first modern civil service secretariat in Nigeria, and first industrial estate in Nigeria. His face is on 100 naira denomination as a mark of honor for his distinguished services to his country. Western Spring Television identifies Obafemi Awolowo as a major character in history.
Atótó arére.
Kò ṣeé má gbọ́ ìròyìn.
Bẹ́gùn ò bá jáde, mọ̀rìnwó là á kọ́kọ́ rí. Ọwọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ ní síwájú ìjó, ẹsẹ̀ katakata ní síwájú ìrìn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti ń gbúròó wa, a tún ti dé náà nù. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò Owambe Unlimited. Pẹ̀lú èmi ọmọ yín, olólùfẹ́ yín, ọ̀rẹ́ yín, Suliat tẹ́túmọ̀ sí Morenikeji. Ẹ lè pè mí ní Sùsù. Tó bá wẹ̀ lómi, a sọ pé ìyálòde àríyá. Gbogbo orúkọ tẹ́ ẹ bá pè mí, kò sí èyí tí mi ò ní jẹ yín. Ẹ farabalẹ̀, kẹ́ ẹ máa gbádùn ètò Owambe Unlimited lórí ìkànnì Western Spring Television ní ìkànnì 190. Ibẹ̀ ni Owambe Unlimited ń bọ̀ wá. Ẹ fàpùrẹ̀ tẹ̀dí, kẹ́ ẹ máa gbádùn ètò àríyá wa.
Mo ń sọ fún yín pé ẹ máa wo Owambe Unlimited lórí Western Spring Television.
Western Spring Television, as it is.
Ètò yìí tún ti dé o. Ètò ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ló tún gorí afẹ́fẹ́. Tọmọdé tàgbà ẹ súnmọ́ bí ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ sọ. Adéyẹmí Ọlábọ̀dé ló sọ wípé ohun abádìjọ́rò gígùn ní gùn.
Bí ọjọ́ báyọ̀ ọjọ́ àkárí ayé, alákànlẹ̀ ní ti Òṣùmàrè àṣeyọ ní ọjọ́ tòní. A kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin honorable wa, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ẹ̀yin tájọ́ máa ń ṣe ń gbogbo ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ mẹ́jọ. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa fún ìgbà àkọ́kọ́. Bá a ṣe máa ń ṣeré nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ẹtì bí aago 3 bá ti ro kógó. Lórí ìkànnì Western Spring Television náà rèé o, ibẹ̀ láti máa ń pé birikoto tá a ti máa ń péjọ gbé àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó kàn wá gbọ̀ngbọ̀n lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà yẹ̀wò. Àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó kàn wá gbọ̀ngbọ̀n lẹ́ka ètò òṣèlú, lẹ́ka ọrọ̀ ajé, ẹ̀ka ètò ààbò, ẹ̀ka iṣẹ́ ọ̀gbìn, ẹ̀ka ètò ẹ̀kọ́, ẹ̀ka ètò ìlera, ẹ̀ka ohun amáyédẹrùn àti àwọn nǹkan míì, àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ lóríṣiríṣi. Nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò, a fi ààyè lẹ̀ ká tàbùkù ẹnikẹ́ni, a fi ààyè lẹ̀ ká sọ ọ̀rọ̀ àlùfàǹsá, a fi ààyè lẹ̀ ká ti ọwọ́ òṣèlú, ọwọ́ ẹlẹ́yàmẹ̀yà tàbí ọwọ́ ẹlẹ́sìn ìjẹsìn bọ àwọn kókó ọ̀rọ̀ tí a bá ń gbé yẹ̀wò nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò. Àtẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò wá nú ilé àti àwọn tó wà nú kulu pẹ̀lú wa, gbogbo yín náà lẹ jẹ́ honorable nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò. Gbogbo wa la wá lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ tá a ní àǹfààní láti gbé ìwòye tiwa, láti gbé èrò ọkàn wa kalẹ̀ láì tàbùkù èrò ọkàn honorable mi. Torí ohun tó wù mí ò wù ọ́, òun náà lọ́mọ ìyá méjì ò ṣe parapọ̀ fẹ́bìn kan. Nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò tó kọjá, ohun tá a gbé yẹ̀wò, ọ̀rọ̀ tó kan tó lórí tẹlẹmù tó kan gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà. Ọ̀rọ̀ nípa bí ìròyìn ṣe gbé wípé ó ṣeé ṣe kí ìjọba àpapọ̀ ó sún ọjọ́ tí wọn yóò yọ owó ìrànwọ́ orí epo pẹtiróòlù subsidy síwájú. Gẹ́gẹ́ bó ṣe di mímọ̀ wípé ó kù sọ́wọ́ ìjọba tó ń bọ̀ lọ́nà, ó kù sọ́wọ́ ààrẹ tí àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ yìí dìbò yàn, Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Tinubu. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ṣe jẹyọ pé ìgbà tí wọ́n bá dé orí àlééfà tán ni wọ́n yóò ṣe ìpinnu lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àyọwó ìrànwọ́ orí epo pẹtiróòlù, àyọwó ìrànwọ́ orí epo pẹtiróòlù eléyìí tó ti ń rùn bí iṣu ọlọ́kùnrùn lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí látìgbà díẹ̀ tó sì ń jà rìnrìn tó di àwíroko wírodò ó ní nǹkan tá a gbé yẹ̀wò nínú ìjókòó ilé tó kọjá Honourable Jamiu Semiu láti ìlú Ìníṣà ni wọ́n dá àbá kí a so ìjókòó ilé tó kọjá rọ̀ lẹ́yìn náà ni Honourable Lamid Sefiu láti ọlọ́jà Ìbálá báwa kejì àbá pé kí a so ìjókòó ilé tó kọjá rọ̀ ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò tòní ẹ má gbàgbé àwọn ìlànà wa ẹ má gbàgbé àwọn òfin wa ẹ má gbàgbé àwọn àlàkalẹ̀ ìlú tí ò bá sí òfin ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ òsì ń bẹ̀ omi làákọ́tẹ̀ ká tó tẹyanrìn èmi tí mo jẹ́ abẹnugan fún ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ni Right Honourable Adéyẹmí Ọlábọ̀dé ó yá kí a tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjókòó ilé tòní kí Honourable wa kan bá wa dá àbá kí a bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjókòó ilé lẹ́yìn àbá àkọ́kọ́ kí Honourable mi bá wa kejì àbá náà ẹ wà dá akọ ibi tẹ́ ń ṣojú ẹ má gbàgbé ìlànà tá a máa ń ṣe àmúlò Honourable Adékúnlé Aríkéwìyọ̀ ti náwó sókè.
Aríkéwìyọ̀ láti ìlú Òṣogbo. Mo dábàá.
Ẹ padà gbé kalẹ̀.
Èmi ni Honourable Adékúnlé Aríkéwìyọ̀ láti ìlú Òṣogbo. Mo dábàá ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjókòó ilé fún tèmi.
Ó dáa ẹ ṣe Honourable Jamiu Semiu àwọn náà ti náwó láti kéjì àbá.
Mo kí abẹnugan lé o mo kí akójànú lé mo sì kí akọ̀wé ilé náà lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ní dàrú o.
Àmín.
Èmi ni Honourable Comrade Jamiu Semiu láti ìlú Ìníṣà tí mo ń sojú Odò Ọ̀tìn South àti Ọlọ́rundá lápapọ̀ local government. Mo tún wá jẹ́ ìmáàmù àgbà fún gbogbo ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò pátápátá. Mo kéjì àbá ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjókòó ilé tòní k'Ọlọ́run ọba láàánú ràn wá lọ́wọ́.
Àmín ẹ ṣe lẹ́yìn àbá látẹnu Honourable Adékúnlé Aríkéwìyọ̀ láti ìlú Òṣogbo ti Honourable Jamiu Semiu láti ìlú Ìníṣà kéjì àbá náà ní èmi abẹnugan lè ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjókòó ilé náà.
Ètò yìí tún ti dé o. Ètò ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ló tún gorí afẹ́fẹ́. Tọmọdé tàgbà ẹ súnmọ́ bí ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ sọ. Adéyẹmí Ọlábọ̀dé ló sọ wípé ohun abádìjọ́rò gígùn nígùn.
Ṣé wọ́n ní kókó kó làárọ̀ fa àdìtí? Iléeṣẹ́ ológun orílẹ̀-èdè yìí tún ti ṣe ìkìlọ̀ fún àwọn tó lè fẹ́ yí ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ fún ààrẹ tí àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ yìí dìbò yàn ní ọjọ́ 29 oṣù yìí lágbódà síná. Adarí ètò ìròyìn fún iléeṣẹ́ ológun náà Ọ̀gágun Musa Damanani ló paroko ìkìlọ̀ náà lánàá pẹ̀lú àfikún pé iléeṣẹ́ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí ti wà ní kíkẹ́ bí ìbọn láti gbé gbóná láti lè wákò fún ẹnikẹ́ni tàbí èyíkéyìí ìkórajọpọ̀ tó bá lè fẹ́ pagidínà ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ wọ́ọ́rọ́wọ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà fún ẹni tí àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí dìbò yàn Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Tinubu ti ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú All Progressives Congress. A ó rántí pé ìkìlọ̀ tí iléeṣẹ́ ológun tún ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fi léde yìí òun ló ń wáyé ní oṣù kan gẹ́rẹ́gẹ́ lẹ́yìn tí adarí ìgbòkègbodò ètò ìròyìn ní iléeṣẹ́ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí Ọ̀gágun Tukur Gúgúsọ ti jẹ́jẹ́ pé àwọn ọmọ ológun yóò wákò pẹ̀lú ohunkóhun tó bá lè fẹ́ yí ìtò eléyìí tó wà fún ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ lágbódà síná. Wọ́n ní àwọn ò ní gbà láàbọ̀ fẹ́nikẹ́ni tí ó bá fẹ́ wọ̀n kún tó bá fẹ́ fọ́ ìkòkò ìjọba àwa ara wa ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Bí ìkìlọ̀ lákọ̀tún yìí ṣe ń jẹyọ láti iléeṣẹ́ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí náà ni adarí orílẹ̀-èdè yìí tẹ́lẹ̀ rí láyé ológun ajagun fẹ̀yìntì Yakubu Gowon náà gba gbogbo àwọn olùdíje tí wọ́n pẹjọ́ tako àbájáde ètò ìdìbò tó kọjá lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí nímọ̀ràn láti fi ara mọ́ ohun tí ilé ẹjọ́ bá sọ tàbí ìgbésẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá gbé gẹ́gẹ́ bí àbájáde ìjókòó ilé ẹjọ́. A ó rántí pé ṣáájú àsìkò yìí ni àwọn olùdíje kan tí wọ́n fi apá jánu ti ní àwọn tako kí ètò ìbúra wọlé kó wáyé fún ààrẹ tí àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ yìí dìbò yàn Bọ́lá Tinubu tí wọ́n sì ń pè fún ṣíṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ìjọba fìdí lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí. Àmọ́ pẹ̀lú bí iléeṣẹ́ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí ti ṣe àtẹnumọ́ rẹ̀ pé àwọn ò ní jẹ́ kí ohunkóhun tàbí ẹnikẹ́ni ó pagidínà tàbí ṣe àdínà gbòòkú fún ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ ní ọjọ́ 23 sí àsìkò tá a wà yìí. ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn òǹwòye ló ti ń sọ èrò ọkàn wọn nípa ohun àmúṣà lóògùn. Ṣé wọ́n ní igi gangan mọ́gùn ni lójú àtòkèrè láti lọ́? Àwọn ìbéèrè tó wà wájú wa nù jókòó lé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò lórí Western Spring Television lónìí. Ìbéèrè méjì gbàǹkọ̀gbìn náà ni. Ìbéèrè àkọ́kọ́ tó jẹ́ àìláṣọ ọlọ́run pàká tó di ohun àpérò fún gbogbo ọmọ eriwo. Kí ló lè mú kí lè ṣe ológun ọmọ ṣe ìkìlọ̀ lemọ́lemọ́ lórí ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ fún ìjọba míì tó bá di ìparí oṣù tá a wà yìí? Lẹ́ǹkan sí, kí ló lè mú kí lè ṣe ológun ó máa ṣe ìkìlọ̀ lemọ́lemọ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ fún ìjọba míì níparí oṣù karùn-ún tá a wà yìí? Ìbéèrè kejì, kí ni ẹ̀yin honorable rò pé ó yẹ kí àwọn elétò ààbò músà lóògùn láti lè dènà ohunkóhun tó lè fẹ́ pa òkúta sí ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí fún ààrẹ tí àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ yìí dìbò yàn? Àwọn ìbéèrè méjèèjì yìí òun náà lájọmọ́ roko mọ́ nínú ìjókòó lé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò lónìí. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ wà ń lé ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀kanlẹ̀ kan bá lé ohun tó bá kan orógùn ó ti kàn gbá kan náà nù. Ọ̀rọ̀ tó kan gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà lọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń gbé yẹ̀wò lónìí. Àwọn ojú òpó tẹ́yìn náà lè lò láti fi dá sí ìjókòó lé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò. Ibi yòówù tẹ́ bá ti ń wò wá, ẹ lè lo 0913 259 9000 0913 259 9000 tàbí kẹ́ lo 0816 466 4844 0816 466 4844. Ẹ kúrò nídìí tẹlifíṣàn yín tẹ́yin bá fẹ́ dá sí ohun tá à ń gbé yẹ̀wò. Ẹ kúrò níbi tí ariwo wà, ẹ wá rí wípé ẹ pariwo, ẹ já tẹ̀lé lànà, ẹ já tẹ̀lé àlàkalẹ̀. Bàbá ṣe ń retí pé ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò wá nulẹ̀ náà ni a máa gba èrò ọkàn àwọn honorable wa tó wà lórí ìjókòó. Honorable Jamiu Semiu nawọ́ sókè, ó yá o.
Mo kí abẹnugan lé o, mo kí akójànú lé, mo sì kí akọ̀wé ilé náà. Ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ní dàrú o.
Àmín.
Mo kí àwọn ojúgbà mi tá jọ wà ní ìjókòó lé tòní. Ọlọ́jẹ́ alimọ̀ wa o.
Àmín.
Orúkọ èmi ni Honorable Comrade Jamiu Semiu láti ìlú Nisa tí mo ń sojú Odò Ọ̀tìn South àti Ọlọ́ndà lápapọ̀ local government. Abẹnugan lé, ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ ní adásí lónìí ọ̀rọ̀ tó dáa ni. Ṣé rí etí ìjọba ṣe tó dáa gbáà ni. Torí wọ́n ní ń bọ̀ àwọn làádẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ ní tó ṣẹlẹ̀ gan nìyẹn tí àwọn ọmọ ológun tí wọ́n fi ní wípé láti gbéjọba kalẹ̀ fún ẹnìkan change sọ́dọ̀ ẹnìkan àwọn máa ètò ààbò kó fi lè gbópọn dáadáa. Torí lóòótọ́ àwọn kan ò fẹ́ gbà pé kí kinní yóò wáyé ní on 29 oṣù yìí ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ò ní fún wọn sí yóò wáyé. Ṣé wá rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìbéèrè tí ẹ béèrè ìní wípé ṣé rí nígbà tí àwọn ọmọ ológun tí wọ́n ti sọ wípé ẹni bí labalábá bá kọjá gan àwọn ohun wọn níjọ́ náà èmi ò lòdì sí o torí àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà burú gan àmọ́ tó lè ṣẹlẹ̀ ńjọ́ yẹn Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ ara burú torí wípé àtúmọ̀ tàkúté táwọn ọ̀tá dẹ́lẹ́lẹ̀ ńjọ́ yẹn tí wọ́n fi ní òní wáyé torí lẹ́yìn ìgbà àdìbò tán ó ti ní gbogbo rògbòdìyàn tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ kò wọlé nǹkan kan a lọ ilé ẹjọ́ ni a ṣe kinní ni àwọn kan ò fẹ́ kó wáyé gẹ́gẹ́ bí tẹ́ béèrè lọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí tẹ́ kálẹ̀lẹ̀ lóòótọ́ wọ́n fẹ́ gbé kíjọba fìdí ẹ̀ wà ń bẹ̀ n ò fẹ́ kọjọ́ yìí ò wáyé ṣùgbọ́n mo mọ̀ wípé Ọlọ́run ó sọ ẹ̀mí wa díjọ́ náà àwọn ọmọ ológun káwọn náà sì mọ́ gbàbọ̀dè torí ìmọ̀ràn tẹ́mi ó fún ọ nù kí wọ́n mọ́ gbàbọ̀dè kó jẹ́ wípé iṣẹ́ tí aláwọn fẹ́ ṣe fún Nàìjíríà tọkàntọkàn ni kí wọ́n ṣe fún wa ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ní dàrú o.
Àmín.
Ẹ kú ètò.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni adúpẹ́ ẹ̀yin honorable wa ẹ dákun ẹ jẹ́ ká gbájúmọ̀ nǹkan tí à ń ṣe nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò. Àwọn ojú òpó tí à ń lò ó náà ní 0913 259 9000 0913 259 9000 bákan náà lẹ́lẹ̀ lo 0816 466 4844
àwọn ìbéèrè tí a jọ ń gbé yẹ̀wò nù jókòó lé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò pẹ̀lú ohun tó ṣúyọ láti ọ̀dọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí. Alákọ̀ọ́kọ́, kí ló lè mú kí iléeṣẹ́ ológun ọmọ ṣèkìlọ̀ lemọ́ lórí ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ láti ọwọ́ ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari tó ń kúrò lórí àlééfà àti ẹni tí àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ yìí dìbò yàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ààrẹ ilẹ̀ yìí Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Tinubu? Ìbéèrè kejì, kí ló yẹ kí àwọn elétò ààbò, iléeṣẹ́ ọmọ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí ni, iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ni, ikọ̀ ààbò arẹ́nilààbò ìlú àti àwọn elétò ààbò míì ó mú sàlóògùn láti lè dènà kí ohunkóhun kó pagidínà ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ 29 oṣù karùn-ún ọdún tá a wà yìí? Àwọn ìbéèrè yìí náà ni a jọ ń fi ojú sùnùkùn wò nù jókòó lé. Honorable wo ni ọ̀dà ẹ̀yà.
Mo kí Mr. Speaker
Ẹ ṣé o.
àti gbogbo àwọn honorable tó wà ní inú ilé. Èmi ni honorable Bọ́lá Ọládipúpọ̀ láti Òṣogbo. Pẹ̀lú nǹkan tẹ́ni ká dá sí yẹn, lójú ìwòye tèmi, àwọn Yorùbá máa ń sọ pé awífúnni kó tó dá ni, àgbà àjàkadì ni. Báwọn ológun ṣe ń sọ lemọ́lemọ́ yẹn pé ẹni tó bá ṣe jákujàku wọn á gbé. Nǹkan tó dá lójú ìwòye ti tèmi ni o. Nítorí àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà púpọ̀ nínú wa wọn ń gba sùúrù. Nǹkan tí wọ́n gbọ́, èdè tí wọ́n gbọ́, òun ni wàhálà. Ṣé ẹ̀ pé ńgbà tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ti ń sọ báyìí bóyá ẹnìkan ó lóun fẹ́ ṣe jákujàku tán bá gbé, ìdájọ́ tán bá ṣe fún un, ẹ̀yin náà wà tìgbà tán ti ń pariwo pé ẹni tí wọ́n bá mú. Lójú ìwòye tèmi bọ́n ṣe ń sọ lemọ́lemọ́ yẹn, nǹkan tó dára ni. And ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ìbéèrè yẹn ni pé kí ló yẹ kí wọ́n mú sà bíi lóògùn ara nǹkan tó yẹ kó mú sà náà ni wọ́n ń sọ yìí. Ṣé mọ̀ wọ́n ti ń sọ fún gbogbo èèyàn, gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ránṣẹ́ tó yẹ pé wọ́n mọ iṣẹ́ kọ̀ wípé ẹ lọ dàbẹ̀rú, ẹ lọ ṣe kinní kan, gbogbo irú àwọn yẹn báyẹn wọ́n ti ń kìlọ̀ fún wọn. Ẹni tó bá bímọ oníjàgídíjàgan náà á lè kìlọ̀ fọmọ ẹ̀, á lè mú ọmọ ẹ̀ so. Irú stadium ibi tán ti fẹ́ ṣe yẹn náà, mo mọ̀ pé àwọn náà máa ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ níbẹ̀, wọ́n á wo gbogbo ẹ̀ kó báyìí pé wọ́n ń rí nǹkan burúkú mọ́ bẹ̀. Ara gbogbo nǹkan tèmi rò pé ó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe nìyẹn.
Ó dà, ẹ ṣé gan-an ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún wo honorable míì tí yóò fẹ́ dá sí àwọn ohun tá à ń gbé yẹ̀wò nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọ. Honorable kan náwó sókè, ó yá o.
Orúkọ mi ni èmi ni honorable Bukola Ọláwùmí láti ìlú Iléṣà. Mo fẹ́ dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí pé àwọn ìjọba tó ń lọgun pé kí ọlọ́mọ mọ́mọ ẹ̀ so àbí kí gbogbo wa jẹ́ ká ti ọwọ́ ọmọ wọn bọ aṣọ, wọ́n mọ nǹkan tó ń sọ. Torí pé Yorùbá ní àtòkèrè lolójú jíjìn tí máa ń mú ẹkún rẹ̀ sun tó ṣe bí òwe honorable. Torí tí wọn bá tètè mọ́ lọ́gun fún wa ní ìsìn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀dọ́ tèmi jẹ́, mo mọ nǹkan táwọn ọ̀dọ́ ẹgbẹ́ mi, mo mọ nǹkan tán lè ṣe. Àwọn tí wọ́n sì ń lọ́gun náà wọ́n mọ nǹkan tó wà níkàáwọ́ wa ló jẹ́ káwọn náà tètè mọ́ pariwo fún wa pé ká tọwọ́ ọmọ wọn baṣọ. Bí wọn ò bá sì tètè mọ́ ṣe ní ìsìn, ìgbà wo la fẹ́ gbọ́? Ṣégbà tó bá tó bọ́ sórí tán látò wá gbọ́ ni. Ó ṣe pàtàkì bí ilé ológun tán ṣe ń lọ́gun fún iléeṣẹ́ ológun wọ́n ṣe ń lọ́gun fún wa ní ìsìn pé ká mọ nǹkan tá à ń ṣe. Àti pé ẹni kí ló yẹ kó mú sàlóògùn, Mr. Speaker? Nǹkan tó yẹ tèmi rí bó yẹ kó mú sàlóògùn ni wípé kán jẹ́ kí ètò ààbò ro tótó. Tí gbogbo ẹ̀ bá dúró, tó ìwọ gan bá bọ́ta tó bá rí pé ibi tó fẹ́ lọ ṣe èyí tí ó bu ọ lọ́wọ́ ni, mo mọ̀ pé kò sọmọ yẹ ẹni tán bí dáa tí ò fẹ́ lọ. Nǹkan tèmi rí sọ sí.
Ó dà, ẹ ṣé gan-an ni. Àdúpẹ́, ṣùgbọ́n mo tún ṣàkíyèsí nǹkan kan, ẹ̀yin honorable. Kí ni ẹ̀yin rò pé ó yẹ kó jẹ́ ojúṣe àwọn òbí lórí ohun tá à ń gbé yẹ̀wò yìí? Torí àwọn òbí ojúṣe wọn jẹ́ pàtàkì láwùjọ. Ilé tí yóò bá tòrò, òbí gbọ́dọ̀ kó ipa tó yáàyè. Àdúgbò tó bá dàrú náà, òbí náà ó gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ẹni tí yóò wá ojútùú sí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo honorable mi tó náwó sókè. ẹnìkan náwó sókè ní ojú ìlà. Hello. Àwọn ojú òpó tí a ń lò àwọn náà ni 09132599000 09132599000. Bákan náà ni ẹ lè lo 08164664844 nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò. Àwọn ìbéèrè tí a jọ ń gbé yẹ̀wò lẹ́ǹkan sí òun náà rèé o. Alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ lórí ohun tí iléeṣẹ́ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí fi léde. Kí ló yẹ kí àwọn elétò ààbò ilẹ̀ yìí ó mú sàlógùn láti lè dènà kí ohunkóhun ó pàkúta sí ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ fún ààrẹ tí àwọn èèyàn dìbò yàn. Bákan náà ara béèrè ni pé kí ló lè mú kí iléeṣẹ́ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí ó máa ṣe kìlọ̀ lemọ́lemọ́ lórí ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ fún àwọn míì ní ìparí oṣù yìí, ìyẹn fún ìjọba tó ń bọ̀ lọ́nà. Nígbà tí a ń ṣe ìjókòó lé lọ, àwọn honorable kọ̀ọ̀kan ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ẹ dákun, ẹ mọ̀mọ́ jẹ́ apẹ́ wọn wá sí ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò. Ọ̀dà ẹ jẹ́ ká tún tẹ̀síwájú nígbà tá a bá ń retí ìpè látọ̀dọ̀ àwọn tó wà nílé. Àwọn honorable kan nawọ́ sókè. Honorable Aríkéwúyọ̀.
Mo kí gbogbo ìjókòó lé o. Tòní ò lè já sí mọ́ o.
Àmín o.
Fún wa sí Ọlọ́run ràn wá lọ́wọ́.
Àmín.
Èmi ni Honorable Adékúnlé Aríkéyọ̀ láti Housing Estate nílùú Òṣogbo. Tí ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ fi léta ọ̀rọ̀ gidi ni. Torí wípé ní àwọn oníṣẹ́ ológun tó ń pariwo tán lọ́gun tán kò sí pé ẹrùjà ní ló ń bà wọ́n, ẹrùjà kọ́. Yorùbá dẹ̀ ní awífúnni ká tó dá ni àgbàlagbà ìjàkadì ni. So torí pé ní ìlú tí ò bá sí òfin ẹ̀sìn ò sí bẹ́ẹ̀. Níbi tó fi bá ti wá wà tó bá ti wá ṣe fòfin àfikọ́ ya kẹgbà òfin ó bà ẹ́. So àwọn ṣé ológun kò ṣe pẹ́rù ìjà ló ń bá àwọn wọn kìlọ̀ fún àwọn ọmọ wa ni because kò síbà tí ní rí àwọn alétílápá ọmọ táwọn fẹ́ ṣàyà bí ẹ̀yìn lọ́jọ́ yẹn náà fi ń kìlọ̀ fún wọn. So ìgbésẹ̀ tíjọba táwọn ológun yẹn gbé jẹ́ ìgbésẹ̀ gidi ni because kò síbà tí ní rí kàndánù rẹ̀ sí o nínú àwọn èèyàn o aráàlú o tí wọ́n fẹ́ sí bálabàlá yẹn sì mọ́ wẹ́ lọ́nù tẹ̀ wọ́n sì máa bá àwọn èèyàn tó máa ṣe a máa rí èèyàn lọ́jọ́ ẹ̀ tó máa fẹ́ sí bálabàlá. So àmọ̀ràn tẹ́mi wá fẹ́ gbà àwọn kẹ́bí kan tẹ́ sọ lára ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ sọ pé ní kí ni ojúṣe òbí láti bá ọmọ wọn sọ̀rọ̀ torí pé ní ẹ̀tàn bá forí ẹ̀ fágbọ́n ó ṣeé ṣe kó má dúró jẹ́ ń bẹ̀ o because ọmọ tó bá ní bóyá ìṣe ọmọ ta náà fẹ́ mọ wà bí kán máa dàn kán rú ilẹ̀ àwọn máa fi jẹ́ ń gbèsè ayé tiwọn irú ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó jẹ́ kóbi ó jẹ́ ó yé pé tọ̀ ẹni tí ò lẹ́ni rú kò kú sóko ẹni tí ò sì rẹ́ni wá kò irú ìpín sọnù so kóbi ó kìlọ̀ fọmọ ẹ̀ kó mọ irú ọmọ tí kó mọ irú ẹni tó ń ṣe because ẹni tó ń pè ò dákẹ́ Ọlọ́run gbàgbọ́ ya now ojúṣe wa ni pé ká kìlọ̀ fún ọmọ wa o kán mọ́ dáràn wálé wá bá wa tòrọ ọmọ tó bá dáràn wálé lọ́jọ́ yẹn ẹgbẹ́ òfin náà máa fi nà so ká rọ ojúṣe òbí ni pé kó rọ ọmọ ẹ̀ kó mọ ẹni tí ń ṣe then àwa náà tá a dẹ̀ mo tún wá rọ àwọn olùwòran lọ́jọ́ yẹn sẹ́yìn pé àwọn olùwòran náà máa lọ pé mo fẹ́ bójú mi ó tó lọ ẹ lọ kẹ́kẹ́ sí pé bóyá kẹ́ wá kọ́bẹ sápò àbí kẹ́ kó dà sí kinní kan kẹ́ kó gò sápò kẹ́ lẹ́ fi protect ara yín rárá o àwọn ètò aláàbò ẹni tán bá chẹ́kì àpò ẹni tán bá nǹkan tí ò yẹ àwọn ẹgbẹ́rú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ nísìnyí òun yóò tún fara gbá ẹgbà òfin so mo rọ àwọn èèyàn wa ká sì jẹ́ lọ́jọ́ yẹn ká dẹ̀ bẹ lọ́hùn kọ́lọ́hùn kó ṣe nírọ̀rùn fún wa orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lè bàjẹ́ o.
Àmín. Ẹ ṣé gan ni adúpẹ́ honorable wa kan nawọ́ sókè ṣùgbọ́n mo fi owó àtọmọ mo fi dé yín lẹ́nu ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí òdì kejì tá a bá lọ tá a bá dé ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò yóò tẹ̀ síwájú ẹ̀yin honorable wa tẹ̀ ṣẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ti Western Spring Television lẹ́ ń wò lọ́wọ́ ẹ lè kàn sí wa kẹ́mọ́ wò kàn nìyí káàkiri orí ìtàkùn ayélujára ẹ lọ sórí YouTube ẹ tẹ Western Spring Television bákan náà ní orí Facebook ẹ̀yin ẹ tẹ Western Spring Television ẹ máa wò wá kétékété ní orí Star Times tí a wà tẹ́ ti ń wò wá ìkànnì àádọ́wà channel 190 la wà tí ẹ ti ń wo ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò bá a bá lọ sí òdì kejì tá a bá dé ìjókòó ilé náà yóò tẹ̀ síwájú ẹ má gbé kúrò à ń bọ̀.
ètò yìí tún ti dé o. ètò ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ló tún gorí afẹ́fẹ́ tọmọdé tàgbà ẹ súnmọ́ bí ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ sọ. Adéyẹmí Ọlábọ̀dé ló sọ wípé ohun abádìjọ́rò gígùn ní gùn.
New York nílùú ńlá tó tóbi jù nílẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà. Kódà iye ènìyàn tó wà níbẹ̀ ló fi ìdá méjì ju ti ìlú Los Angeles lọ. Ó jẹ́ ibùdó fún oríṣiríṣi àṣà, ìgbafẹ́, iṣẹ́ ọnà, ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ, òṣèlú, ẹ̀kọ́, ọrọ̀ ajé kódà tó fi máa rẹ́ ìdárayá. New York yìí ló gbàlejò ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ olùdókòwò kárí ayé tó sì fẹsẹ̀ múlẹ̀ gidi gan ni. Ìdí nìyí tí àwọn kan fi máa ń pè é ní olú ìlú orílẹ̀-èdè àgbáyé. Ohun ìdámọ̀ tó gbajúgbajà jù ní New York ní ère òmìnira Statue of Liberty, eléyìí tó ń ṣàfihàn bí ìlú náà ṣe fàyè gba onílé àtàlejò. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni afárá Brooklyn kò lẹ́gbẹ́. Ó kéré tán ẹgbẹ̀rin ní oríṣi èdè tí wọ́n ń sọ ní New York. Èyí ló sì fa bí wọ́n ṣe máa ń sọ pé gbogbo èdè àgbáyé ló pé sílùú New York. Ní nǹkan ọdún 1624 ni àwọn èèyàn ẹ̀yà Dutch tẹ̀dó sí ibi tó ń jẹ́ New York báyìí. Amsterdam ni wọ́n ń pè é tẹ́lẹ̀ nígbà náà, àmọ́ lọ́dún 1664 ni wọ́n yí padà sí New York. Lẹ́yìn tí ọba King Charles kejì tilẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì fún arákùnrin rẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ ìyẹn Duke of York. Láti ọdún 1785 ló ti wá di olú ìlú ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà títí di òní olónìí. Ó jẹ́ ìlú ńlá tó kún fún ọ̀pọ̀ iṣẹ́ ọnà àti ibùdó iṣẹ́ àtinúdá oríṣiríṣi fún gbogbo ìran ọmọnìyàn. Ìlú New York lórílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà. Àbújá ni olú ìlú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Ọjọ́ 12 oṣù 12 ọdún 1991 ni wọ́n gbé ibùjókòó agbára Nàìjíríà kúrò nílùú Èkó lọ sílùú Àbújá lásìkò ìṣèjọba ológun ọ̀gágun fẹ̀yìntì Ibrahim Babangida. Ìlú Àbújá ní ìlú kẹjọ tí èrò pọ̀ sí jùlọ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Ó sì jẹ́ ìlú olódi tó wà ní àárín gbùngbùn. Gbogbo àwọn ilé-iṣẹ́ àti àjọ ìjọba kọ̀ọ̀kan ló ní olú ọ́fíìsì wọn nílùú Àbújá. Gẹ́gẹ́ bó ṣe jẹ́ pé ibẹ̀ gan ni ibùjókòó agbára ìṣàkóso ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Lọ́dún 2003 ni àjọ Commonwealth gbé ìpàdé wọn wá síbẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni àjọ olókoòwò nílẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ṣe lọ́dún 2014. Kódà lọ́dún 2016 àjọ tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọdé ìyẹn UNESCO gbà á gẹ́gẹ́ bí ibùdó ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọn. Díẹ̀ lára àwọn ibùdó tó gbajúgbajà nílùú Àbújá ni àpáta agbára Aso Rock, ilé aṣòfin àpapọ̀, ilé aṣojúṣòfin ilẹ̀ yìí, àpáta Zuma Rock, Millennium Park, báńkì àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà CBN, mọ́ṣáláṣí àpapọ̀ àti ibùdó ilé ìjọsìn àpapọ̀ àwọn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì. Ẹkùn ìdìbò 6 ló wà nílùú Àbújá: Abaji, Buhari, Gwagwalada, Kuje, Kwali àti Abuja Municipal. Kílìṣì tó jẹ́ ohun ìpanu tí wọ́n fi ẹran pèsè ló jẹ́ oúnjẹ tó wọ́pọ̀ tí gbogbo èèyàn sì nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí nílùú Àbújá. Ó jẹ́ ibùdó ìsinmi fún ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn arìnrìn-àjò láti ẹkùn kọ̀ọ̀kan nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà nítorí pé àárín gbùngbùn ló wà. Ìlú Àbújá rèé o, ibùdó agbára ìṣàkóso ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà, ògo ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀.
Gbẹ̀bíró kílé mọ́ dahoro kọ́ọ̀dẹ́ má dìbò sí. Láṣìgbé ètò yìí kalẹ̀ láti lè jẹ́ kóníkálukú fi ṣe òdiwọ̀n ìdílé wọn. Òtítọ́ ọbẹ̀ ni pé kò sí ìdílé kan tí ò ní ìpèníjà àti ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n àtẹ́lẹwọ́ ẹni la fi ń tún ẹni ṣe. Àti oníkálukú bá kọ sí ìpèníjà náà ìdílé yóò sọ bí ìdílé yóò ṣe rí. Gbẹ̀bíró ká finúkonú ká fi kùnlùkùn pẹ̀lú àwọn lọ́kọláya lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan lórí ètò. Níbẹ̀ lọ́mọ Afọlábí ó ti mọ tàkò tó béèrè sí wọn láláì fìkan pé méjì lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń dá òwúhọ́wù sílẹ̀ nínú ìdílé. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì làwọn àlejò náà yóò mọ jẹ́ ká mọ ọ̀nà tí wọ́n ń gbé gbà sílé wọn ò fi dàrú tí fi ń tò. Gbẹ̀bíró ẹ mọ pàdé Múyìwá Afọlábí lórí ètò yìí ní gbogbo ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta láago 8 òwúrọ̀ tí àtúntẹ̀ rí ó sì tún máa wá láàrin ọ̀sẹ̀ ní ìkànnì móhùnmáwòrán Western Spring Television ìkànnì 150 lórí StarTime. Gbẹ̀bíró tọ̀sẹ̀ yìí ó máa yàtọ̀ ni kò ní yàtọ̀ fọ́.
Èkó Lagos. Èkó akéte ìlú ọgbọ́n, Èkó akéte ìlú ìmọ̀, ọmọ ọlọ́gbọ́n dorí ẹja mú, àwọn òmùgọ̀ àdìímú nírù. Ẹni dèkó tí ò gbọ́n, ọgbọ́n rẹ̀ dọ̀run alákejì. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí àrọ́bá, ẹni tó tẹ ìṣẹ́ridó tó sì kọ́kọ́ gbé ibẹ̀ lọ́dún 1699 ló jẹ́ ọdẹ tí orúkọ rẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Ògúnfúnminíre, ọmọ ọba ìlú Ilé-Ifẹ̀ ní í ṣe. Ó máa ń ṣọdẹ lọ síbẹ̀ láti Ifẹ̀, ó sì pàgọ́ tó ti máa ń sinmi ṣáájú kó tún tó lọ bẹ ilé rẹ̀ wò. Nígbà tó yá, àwọn ọdẹ mìíràn wá darapọ̀ mọ́ láti ṣọdẹ. Nínú igbó yìí ni wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣọdẹ tí wọ́n sì ń pọ̀ sí i pẹ̀lú àwọn ènìyàn wọn. Báyìí ni wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní tàn kálẹ̀ tó fi dé gbogbo ibi tí Èkó fẹ̀ dé lónìí. Ìlú Èkó, ìlú ńlá. Ìlú Èkó yìí ni ibùdó agbára ìṣàkóso ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà wà tẹ́lẹ̀ rí, pàápàá lásìkò ìjọba amúnisìn ṣáájú ọdún 1991 tí wọ́n gbé lọ sílùú Àbújá. Èkó àdèlé ọmọ agun àgẹ̀rẹ̀, Èkó ọmọ afíjúwọjà arìngbẹ́ndẹ́kẹ́, ọ̀bùnwọjà páṣíọ̀ṣíọ̀, ẹ̀yọ̀ ní bàbá Èkó, àríjó ṣe bí ọba. Èkó ọmọ odò tí ò ṣeé yájú sí, Èkó arómi sá lẹ̀gbẹ́lẹ̀gbẹ́.
Èdè Yorùbá jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn èdè tí wọ́n ń sọ ní agbègbè Niger Congo. Èdè Yorùbá gbajúgbajà ní àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó ń bẹ ní ẹkùn ìwọ̀ oòrùn ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Ó kéré tán, àwọn ènìyàn bíi mílíọ̀nù 14 ló ń sọ èdè Yorùbá lónìí. Ètò akọ́mọlédè ló ń dé sójú ìwòran yín láti iléeṣẹ́ móhùnmáwòrán WSTV ìkànnì 150 channel 190 lórí StarTimes. Folúṣọ́ Ayaolúwagbémiga, ìyá ìjọ pèdèpèdè, ìyá akọ́mọlédè ló kọ tèmi. Yorùbá dùn púpọ̀, Yorùbá ò lè kú, Yorùbá ò lè parun. Tiwa làṣà, tiwa lèdè, tiwa nìṣẹ̀ṣe akọ́mọlédè.
Ìlú Benin. Ìlú Benin yìí kan náà ni a túmọ̀ sí Ẹ̀dó. Ó wà ní ẹkùn gúúsù ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Òun sì ní ìlú ńlá tó tóbi jù nípínlẹ̀ Ẹdó lásìkò yìí. Ìlú Benin yìí jẹ́ ìlú tó so àwọn ìlú ńláńlá mìíràn nípínlẹ̀ Delta àti Bayelsa papọ̀. Iṣẹ́ ọnà lóríṣiríṣi wọ́pọ̀ nílùú Benin. Ìdí nìyí tí a fi ń rí àwọn ìlẹ̀kẹ̀, ère gbígbẹ́ àti ọ̀pọ̀ iṣẹ́ ọnà fínfín nílùú náà. Àwọn Yorùbá gbàgbọ́ pé ọmọ Odùduwà ni àwọn èèyàn ìlú Benin àti wípé ìlú Ilé-Ifẹ̀ gan ni wọ́n ti ṣí lọ láti lọ tẹ̀dó síbi tí wọ́n wà di òní olónìí. Èyí sì ṣe é gbàgbọ́ dé àwọn àyè kan o nípa àwọn orúkọ oyè ọba wọn àti àwọn orúkọ mìíràn tó jọ ti ẹ̀yà Yorùbá. Kódà ẹ ó máa gbọ́ nínú oríkì wọn pé Ẹ̀dó ọmọ Àdó torí ogun rọ̀ wá sílé ayé, ọmọ Àdó kan jàǹtírọ́rọ́, ọmọ Àdó kan jàǹtírọ̀rọ̀. Ìlú Benin jẹ́ ìlú àṣà àti ìṣe, bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ààfin ọba wọn dé gbọ̀ngàn yàrá nǹkan ìṣẹ̀ǹbáyé àti ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn nǹkan inú àṣà míì. Láìpẹ́ yìí níjọba orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà nípasẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ tó wà fọ́rọ̀ àṣà àti ìṣe gba díẹ̀ lára àwọn iṣẹ́ ọnà ìṣẹ̀ǹbáyé tó jẹ́ ti ìlú Benin àmọ́ tí àwọn òyìnbó ti gbé lọ padà wá sílé. Ọ̀pọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá, ọ̀pọ̀ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga, àwọn ibùdó ìgbafẹ́ àtàwọn ọ̀kan-ò-jọ̀kan ibùdó ìgbàlódé míì ló wà nílùú Benin. Ó jẹ́ ìlú kan gbòógì tí ò ṣeé fọwọ́ rọ́ sẹ́yìn, pàápàá lẹ́kùn gúúsù ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Ìlú Benin, ìlú Ẹ̀dó.
Ètò yìí tún ti dé o. Ètò ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ló tún gorí afẹ́fẹ́. Tọmọdé tàgbà ẹ súnmọ́ bí ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ sọ. Adéyẹmí Ọlábọ̀dé ló sọ wípé ohun abádìjọ́rò gígùn nígùn.
Ẹ ṣeun ẹ̀yin wa, adúpẹ́ tẹ́ ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, adúpẹ́ tẹ́ ẹ ṣì wà nù jókòó lé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń wò wá lójú móhùnmáwòrán yín, àbẹ́yìn tẹ́ ń wò wá lórí ìtàkùn ayélujára gbogbo. Ìjókòó lé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò òun náà ló ń lọ lọ́wọ́ níkànnì Western Spring Television. A wà ní ìkànnì 150 channel 190 lórí StarTimes. Lórí àwọn ìtàkùn ayélujára náà, ẹ lè máa wò wá lórí Facebook, ẹ lè máa wò wá lórí YouTube. Ẹ lè darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí Twitter àti lórí Instagram. ẹ jẹ́ kí a tẹ̀ wájú pẹ̀lú ohun tí à ń gbé yẹ̀wò lọ́wọ́ nù jókòó lé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò fún àǹfààní àwọn tó ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa kí wọ́n lè mọ bíi tí arúkọ ọ̀rọ̀ sí. ṣé wọ́n ní kókókó làárọ̀ fa àdítí iléeṣẹ́ ológun orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tún ti ṣe ìkìlọ̀ lákọlákọ fún àwọn tó lè fẹ́ yí ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ fún ààrẹ tí àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ yìí dìbò yàn ìyẹn Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu lọ́jọ́ 29 oṣù yìí lágbódà síná. Adarí ètò ìròyìn fún iléeṣẹ́ ológun náà Ọ̀gágun Musa Damanani ló paroko ìkìlọ̀ náà lánàá pẹ̀lú àfikún pé iléeṣẹ́ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí ti wà ní kíkẹ́bí ìbọn láti lè gbóná fẹ́nikẹ́ni tàbí ẹgbẹ́ yòówù tó bá fẹ́ ta fèlèfèlè tó lè fẹ́ pagidínà ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ wọ́ọ́rọ́wọ́ fún ìjọba tuntun. A rántí pé ìkìlọ̀ tí iléeṣẹ́ ológun tún ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fi léde yìí ló ń wáyé ní oṣù kan lẹ́yìn tí adarí ìgbòkègbodò ètò ìròyìn níléeṣẹ́ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí Ọ̀gágun Túkọ̀ Gùsò ti jẹ́jẹ́ pé àwọn ọmọ ológun yóò wákò pẹ̀lú ohunkóhun tó bá lè fẹ́ fọ́ ìkòkò ìjọba àwa ara wa ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Bí kìlọ̀ lákọ̀tún ṣe ń jẹyọ láti iléeṣẹ́ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí náà ni adarí orílẹ̀-èdè yìí tẹ́lẹ̀ rí láyé ológun Yakubu Gowon náà gba gbogbo àwọn olùdíje tí wọ́n pe ẹjọ́ tako àbájáde ìdìbò tó kọjá lọ́dún yìí láti fi ara mọ́ ìgbésẹ̀ àti ìpinnu ìdájọ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ náà. A rántí pé ṣáájú àsìkò yìí ni àwọn olùdíje kan tó ń fi apá jánu ti ní àwọn tako kí ètò ìbúra wọlé kó wáyé fún ààrẹ tí àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ yìí dìbò yàn Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Tinubu tí wọ́n sì pè fún ṣíṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ìjọba fìdí-ẹ̀ẹ́ná. Àmọ́ pẹ̀lú bí iléeṣẹ́ ológun tún ti ṣe àtẹnumọ́ rẹ̀ pé àwọn ò ní jẹ́ kí ohunkóhun tàbí ẹnikẹ́ni ó ṣe adínà gbòòkú fún ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ ní ọjọ́ 23 sí àsìkò yìí. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn òǹwòye ló ti ń sọ èrò ọkàn wọn nípa ohun tó yẹ kí ámúsà lóògùn. Ṣé wọ́n ní igi gangan mọ́gùn ni lójú àtòkèrè láti lọ. Àwọn ìbéèrè tó àwájú wa nù jókòó lé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò tó jẹ́ àìláṣọ ọlọ́run pàká tó ti di ohun àpérò fún gbogbo àwa ọ̀nàrẹ́bù. Ìbéèrè àkọ́kọ́: kí ló lè mú kí iléeṣẹ́ ológun ó mọ̀ ṣèkìlọ̀ lemọ́lemọ́ lákọlákọ lórí ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ láti ọwọ́ ìjọba tó ń kúrò lórí àlééfà àti sí ọwọ́ ìjọba tí yóò mọ gorí àlééfà? Ìbéèrè kejì: kí ló yẹ káwọn elétò ààbò iléeṣẹ́ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí, iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá, àwọn ikọ̀ afarajológun lóríṣiríṣi ó mú sàlóògùn láti lè dènà kí ohunkóhun kó pàkúta sí ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ tí yóò wáyé lópin oṣù tá a wà yìí? Ìbéèrè kẹta ó náà ni pé kí ló yẹ kó jẹ́ ojúṣe àwọn òbí àtàlágbàtọ́ láti lè fewé ọmọ mọ́ àwọn ọmọ wọn kí wọ́n kì wọ́n nílọ̀ níbi tán ti ń gbọ́ ṣáájú, lákòókò àti lẹ́yìn ètò ìbúrawọlé fúnjọba tó ń bọ̀ lórí àlééfà. Àwọn ojú òpó tí a ń lò ó náà ni 0913 259 9000 0913 259 9000. Bákan náà lẹ́lẹ̀ lójú òpó kejì 0816 466 4844. Ẹ kúrò nídìí tẹlifíṣàn yín, ẹ kúrò níbi táriwó wà ká lè jọ gbádùn ara wa. Tẹ́ bá ti fẹ́ pè, tẹ́ fẹ́ nawọ́ sókè. Ó dájá sọdá sí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ọ̀nàrẹ́bù wa tí wọ́n ti nawọ́ sókè padà nínú ìjókòó ilé. Ọ̀nàrẹ́bù Àbùsí Náírà.
Mo kí abẹnugan lé o.
Ẹ ṣé o.
Mo sì tún kí gbogbo àwọn ọ̀nàrẹ́bù mi. Ilé àtọ̀nà wa ò ní dàrú.
Àmín.
Ẹ kú iṣẹ́, ẹ kú ètò, tòní ò ní jáse mọ́.
Àmín o.
Èmi ni ọ̀nàrẹ́bù Ganiyu Akeem Àbùsí Náírà láti ìlú Ìbà. Abẹnugan, ojú tèmi fi wo ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ ní ká tún gbé yẹ̀wò yìí fún àǹfààní ara wa ni. Ṣé rí tó jẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ ológun kán mọ̀ ṣèkìlọ̀ fún everybody báyìí ni pé ẹni tán bá ti sọ fún tí ò bá ti gbọ́, nítójú rẹ̀ bá ti rí yóò fara mọ́ ni kò sì wá ní dáa kí wọ́n mọ́ kìlọ̀ fún yàn kéèyàn kàn déédéé mófin lọ́wọ́ ara rẹ̀ àmọ́ tí kìlọ̀ bá ti wà ẹni tó bá ti rúfin kó mọ bófin lọ ni ń ló ń fà á tó jẹ́ pé àwa ọ̀dọ́ àwa la láròjinlẹ̀ àwa lolóṣèlú wọ́n máa ń fi apá ni àwa la sì ń fira wá pa torí ẹni tó bá dúró láyé ara rẹ̀ olóṣèlú kan ò lè fi pa torí pé kí náà fi ń pa ni pé olóṣèlú tó bá ní pé kémi ó wá gáìdì un kí n wá gbébọn fún un ọmọ rẹ̀ ní ó kọ́kọ́ ṣáájú tó ní ó gbébọn lọ́wọ́ kìí ṣèmi Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ rí tí fi máa gbébọn fún olóṣèlú kò sí ní tó olóṣèlú lè fún mi tàbí tíjọba kan lè fún mi tí màá mọ gbébọn tẹ̀lé hàn èmi ò ṣe security ni ó mọ gáìdì wọn káàkiri so eléyìí táwọn ilé asòfin eléyìí tán sọ yẹn táwọn ológun sọ yẹn wọ́n rí sọ fáfàní olúkálukú ni ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ojú tèmi wá fi wò ó ṣe rí ó mọ̀ ṣe pàtàkì kágbára òbí ó mọ̀ ká ọmọ tó bí fúnra rẹ̀ torí pé ọmọ tóbi bá ti sọ fún tí ò bá ti gbọ́ òun tójú rẹ̀ bá ti rí yóò fara mọ́ ni torí òbí ò lè mọ̀ tẹ̀lé ọmọ káàkiri gbogbo ibi tí máa ń lọ ẹ wo àwọn ọmọ wa míì tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n láwọn ń lọ sí iléèwé ọmọ mi ò tún mú aṣọ míì kó ń lé yóò tún fi sínú báàgì tó bá ti délé ìwé yóò wá pààrọ̀ aṣọ ó ti gbalé ọkùnrin lọ sóbì ó tún mọ̀ tẹ̀lé káàkiri iléèwé ni ńlá fi ń gbàdúrà pé kọ́lọ́n kó fún wa lọ́mọ tíá tọ́lọ́n bá ti fún yẹn lọ́mọ rẹ̀ kò ní ìdí kéèyàn dààmú lọ títí mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lọ́rọ̀ ìyàwó náà tọ́lọ́n bá fún yẹn níyàwó náà tó bá ṣe gàrí lẹ rí mu kò sẹ́ni tí ó gbọ́n lé kejì so eléyìí wá fi kọ́ ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan wa kólúkálukú ó kìlọ̀ fọ́mọ rẹ̀ kíjọba tí ń bọ̀ lọ́nà ó tó dé torí ìjọba eléyìí tí ń bọ̀ lọ́nà yìí mo gbà ládùúrà pé lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan wó rí tí a ṣe ń bẹ yóò sì rọ̀ á lọ́rùn torí pàwa ló kàn báyìí o ẹ kú ètò tó ní òní jáse mọ́.
àmì ẹ ṣé gan ni adúpẹ́ Honourable Ganiu Akeem Abusi Naira láti ìlú Ìbà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ìkànnì Western Spring Television ìjókòó lè gbìmọ̀ àjọrò òun náà ló ń lọ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ìbéèrè mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta tá à ń gbé yẹ̀wò lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí rèé o alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ kí ló lè mọ mú kí lè ṣe ológun ilẹ̀ yọmọ ṣèkìlọ̀ lemọ́lemọ́ lórí ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ fún ìjọba tó ń bọ̀ lọ́nà lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà ìbéèrè kejì kí ló yẹ kí àwọn elétò ààbò ilẹ̀ yìí iléeṣẹ́ ológun ni àwọn ọlọ́pàá ni àti àwọn míì ó músà lógun láti lè dènà kí ohunkóhun kó pàkúta sí ètò ìgbéjọba kalẹ̀ fún ààrẹ tí àwọn èèyàn dìbò yàn eléyìí tó wá jẹ́ ìkẹta kí ló yẹ kó jẹ́ ojúṣe àwọn òbí àti alágbàtọ́ ojúṣe àwọn olórí ẹ̀sìn ojúṣe àwọn adarí àwùjọ láti lè rí wípé wọ́n dènà kí àwọn èèyàn ó ti òfin sọ́wọ́ ara wọn láti lè dá họ́wùhọ́wù sílẹ̀ lákòókò ètò ìbúra wọlé fún ìjọba tó ń bọ̀ lọ́nà àwọn ìbéèrè mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta náà nu àwọn ojú òpó òun lẹ́ǹkan sí òun náà ní 09132599000 tàbí 08164664844 ẹ̀yin Honourable kí ni àfikún tá a dín nínú ìjókòó lè gbìmọ̀ àjọrò Honourable Jamiu Semiu.
mo kí abẹnugan lílẹ̀ kan sí mo sì kí akójànú lé mo kí akọ̀wé mo kí àwọn ojúgbà mi àpò òun látàárọ̀ kò ní sú a kò ní rẹ̀ wá o. èmi ni Honourable Comrade Jamiu Semiu láti ìlú Nisa tí mo ń sojú Odò Ọ̀tìn South àti Ọlọ́rundá lápapọ̀ local government mo tún jẹ́ ìmáàmù àgbà fún gbogbo ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò pátápátá. àfikún tí èmi náà tún fẹ́ fi kún torí àwọn ojúgbà mi ti sọ̀rọ̀ látàárọ̀ Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ wọ́n sì sọ.
afowó àtọmọdé yín lẹ́nu Honourable kan náwó sókè. hello ẹ káàsán ẹ padà náwó sókè ẹ máa bọ̀rọ̀ yín lọ.
ní wípé wọ́n ní kọ́lọ́mọ ó kìlọ̀ fọ́mọ rẹ̀ lọ́n 29 tíjọ́ náà ó ro fẹ́ni tí ò bá wòran jẹ́jẹ́jẹ́ tí ò lọ́wọ́ tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ńjọ́ náà jẹ́ tó jẹ́ wípé ọ̀tọ̀ ni tó bá lọ. àwọn òbí náà látún rọ̀ kí wọ́n dákun kí wọ́n já mójú táwọn ọmọ wa torí ká sì jẹ́jẹ́ ńjọ́ náà. torí nígbà tí wọ́n bá gbébọn lé ẹnìkan lọ́wọ́ tọmọ wọn wá lu òyìnbó tó wá jẹ́ pé wọ́n ní wọ́n á gbébọn lé lọ́wọ́ pé ọlọ́dàbẹ̀rú wọ́n ní mọ̀dàrú ẹja sọ́ra wa dáadáa á kìlọ̀ fún wa ní àtàwa Honourable àtàwọn tí wọ́n ń wò wá nílé gbogbo wa pátá ká kìlọ̀ fúnra wa o kíjọ́ náà kó dùn kó lárinrin ìjọba tuntun ni ó yẹ ká mọ bẹ lọ́njọ́ yẹn ni ẹni tí ò bá ráàyè lọ kódà ká jókòó lórí awọ ẹni ó bá lè lọ chọ́ọ̀chì ó lọ chọ́ọ̀chì pé ìwọ Ọlọ́run ìjọba tí mò ń bọ̀ ìjọ mọ̀ sàn mí síre mọ́mọ̀ jẹ́ ó lè mọ́ mi kì í wá ṣe pé ká lọ mọ́ jà lọ́hùn ká lọ mọ́ ṣe kì í gbọ́ kì í gbà ńlá lọ mọ́ sí lọ́hùn ẹ dákun ẹja sọ́ra wa o ẹja sọ́ra wa gan níjọ́ náà mo sì mọ̀ pé ìjọ́ náà yóò dùn yóò lárinrin lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run bí nǹkan tuntun a bá ti gbàjọba tuntun báyìí nǹkan tuntun ni ó mọ̀ wáyé nínú ayé wa lágbára Ọlọ́run.
ẹ ṣe gan ni ẹ jẹ́ kí n fún honourable kan ní àǹfààní sí kó tó di pé a tún mú nǹkan míì gbọ́ ó yá o.
mo kí Mr. Speaker.
ẹ ṣé o.
èmi ni honourable Bọ́lá Ọládipúpọ̀ láti Òṣogbo. àfikún tí mo ní sí ni pé nípa ìbéèrè kẹta yẹn fún àwọn òbí kò dìgbà tó bá di pé a fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan gan ká tó máa gba àwọn ọmọ wa ní ìyànjú lóòrèkóòrè ó yẹ ká máa gba àwọn ọmọ wa níyànjú nítorí téèyàn bá ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń ṣe mi mọ́ mo ṣe máa sọ ní Yorùbá téèyàn bá ń lọ síbi ọ̀dọ́ èjì ọ̀dọ́ yẹn àwọn nǹkan kan máa wà tó jẹ́ pé èèyàn ọmọ á fẹ́ Bíbélì sọ pé ẹsẹ̀ ọ̀dọ́ máa ń yọ̀